of people don't know this. So on the packaging, right, you got your expiration date on your drinks or your food or something. That date is just, it basically just represents the day that they can't sell it in the stores.
Store no more, yeah.
It don't mean like we can't eat it. So we give people a chart of certain foods and how long is really bad, right?
That's good.
Because when you get donated food, that means it's close towards the expiration date for the store.
Stores, yeah.
So they give it out, they donate it. So we give people paperwork and be like, all right, so if it's this date from this day, if you're dealing with noodles or you're dealing with rice or you're dealing with this or you're dealing with that, then you have 4 months or 6 months after the date, or you have a year after the date, or
to eat it, get it done.
So you be able to eat it. Because a lot of people don't know that. They look at the expiration and be like, oh, this expired. No, that's just the date for the stove.
Yo, this is Juwan, and this is CYON. And this is an outlet for entrepreneurs to tell your story, to get in the know, to relieve your stress, to create your own narrative.
Yo, it's Create Your Own Narrative, man. CYON. We here with another exclusive interview. I got a special guest in the building. Malc, how you doing, fam?
What's happening with you,
Appreciate you, bro, for coming out, man. A man of many hats, doing many things in the city, bro. Many productive things when it comes down to working with the city, things that you do with your mom, being a comedian, and more, bro. Just give the people a little background about yourself that you want them to know about yourself.
I'm born and raised in Riviera Beach for sure.
Facts.
I went to Suncoast High School, John F. Kennedy Middle School. I went to Palm Beach Gardens Elementary, Lake Park Elementary, Lincoln Elementary.
You're embedded in the city.
Yeah. I went to on both sides.
Yeah.
I got the hood and the the other side. So
facts.
It was good. It was nice growing up here for sure.
For sure. And what can you say? What was the first hat that you feel like you took on when it come down to your own skill set?
First, music was always there.
Okay.
You know, growing up in church and different things like that. But as a youngin', it's a lot that came. So, cause around 8, like real young, it was cause I love to cook.
Okay.
But I started playing drums around that same time. But I also wanted to be on TV.
Okay.
I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a lot. So my mom had this camcorder. She filmed everything. You know what I'm saying? I used to. So that was really my first time, like that camera. When she had a camcorder, I used to be so fascinated with it and be like, Mom, let me get the camera.
That's
I want to do this and do that. So it was a little bit of mixture, but I would say like, and a lot of people don't really know like cooking for real. I love to cook. I always and still had a dream to be on like Iron Chef America.
We're going to make that happen, man. We're going to make that happen. We're going to make that happen.
But cooking, like entertainment and music, because I started playing drums when I was little, but music, all of them like came at around the same time for real.
And then you speak on playing drums and the music. What was the first time that you knew that you loved it? When did you fall in love, if you can remember?
Today's Sunday. I just took a picture with their last name Jones. They gave me my first from my church, Greater Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. They gave me my first drum set. My mama just took a picture. She was like, "Let me take a picture of y'all on the drums since you gave me your your first drum set." And they didn't even remember that. You know what I'm saying? That. But once I got the drums and started playing, I was more into that, and I like creating. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I like creating. So by the time middle school came in, that's when I picked up the sax, and we'll go into all that. You know what I'm saying? Because I played drums already, and I wanted to learn another instrument.
So you just kept going.
Yeah.
That was your passion then.
Yeah, music was already. My mama sings. Everybody in my family
You grew up in it. You grew up in it.
Yeah, everybody in my family sings. She acts. She's in a movie too. We'll get to that.
Yeah, damn.
But that's where it started. It started with that. My whole family is just talented. We're musically inclined, and I just picked it up.
And then also with the music, you're also a comedian.
Yeah, for sure. That started with just my personality. I was always funny in school. But my thing was, and I used to pray, I'd be like, look, I just want to be the funniest. And I used to work, like, just to be the funniest in school. Wherever I go, I want to be the funniest person.
Was it the reason why?
Because I want to be the funniest.
You just wanted to be the funniest all the way.
Because I knew I had to go. I was like, bro, I want to be the funniest. Because eventually, one day, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Not to senior year in high school when I was like, all right, I'm going to do some comedy. And I used to tell people all the time, hey, man, meet me at Applebee's. Because they had open mic. They had karaoke.
I didn't even know that.
At Applebee's at the time.
Minute ago.
It's torn down now. It's different. I think it's something else now.
Okay.
On North Lake Boulevard, after football.
7-Eleven now. It's a gas station.
It's a 7-Eleven.
He know. That's a fat check.
Nigel knows, man. After football games, we used to go to Applebee's. That was the thing. But Applebee's, I think, one of those nights, whether it was Friday or whatever the night, they had karaoke. And I used to tell, man, hey, man, I'm finna go and do stand-up. Y'all come. But I don't think it was like, if I would have had like, all right, when you going, bro? I thought we was going today. Nah, man, let's go, man. You said you finna, you know what I'm saying?
That push.
Because I was nervous, dog. But I always speak stuff, and that's just for me. Like, I speak it, no matter how long it's gonna take. Like, that just reminded me, like, hey, eventually you're gonna have to, you know. And then in 2021, January 8th, shout out to Alexis Lockhart, who gave me my first opportunity. January 8th, the first time I got on stage and made a decision, because that was going into New Year's.
Okay.
And I was like, well, this year, 2021, is going to be the year. That's when God spoke to me. He was like, hey, this is it. You got to go.
Take off.
This is it. This is the year for comedy. This is the year of facing fears. Like, every year, he always tell me what year it is. 2019, and we'll get into that. That's when I went on tour. That was the year of faith, having faith. And the next year was 2020. That's the year of, before that, I was getting prepared for what 2020 was about to happen. That's when I was like, I had money. 2021, 2020, and then all the years is always,
a lesson.
That's the spiritual. That's the spiritual
journey about yourself.
The journey that we'll also get into.
See, we got a lot to get into. For sure, we got a lot to get into.
For sure.
And if you can remember that first show, how was it? How was the turnout? How can you remember the crowd reacting towards you? How was all of that?
The first show was at Robovich. Alexis had a show. Shout out to Lockhart District. It was a weekend. It was 2 shows. So she had her show, her fashion show.
Okay.
That I hosted, and then she had some artists performing, and I was gonna be like the featured comedy. So they was the openers, and then she was featuring the comedy thing.
Okay.
So when I talked to her, she was like, all right, well, I got a show. This is it. Because God already told me what time it was. And then as soon as he told me, she hit me with that and was like, hey, so what about this? She was like, you can do 30 minutes. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do 30 minutes. I ain't never. But I had material, though. I had some stuff, and I'm naturally funny. I just didn't know how to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Put the joke in order and make the punchline and have a callback. And it's like, I ain't know nothing.
It's a whole process.
Yeah.
Whole process.
I ain't know the terminology and how to be a professional. So I ended up that night, I ended up doing 50 minutes on stage. So the idea and the reason why I did it is because I knew that the journey to being a comedian, like when you get on stage in improv, you're going to have like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, quick. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even 30 minutes, right? So I said, all right, well, I'm going to start off hard. I'm going to start off where I'm headed, or that's my end goal. So I'm going to start at the end goal and then work my way down. Because if I start off hard, then all these comedy clubs, 5 minutes, that's nothing. I could just, you know what I'm saying?
You get knocked that out quick.
It ain't nothing. So my whole mind was like, bro, you did 50 minutes, bro. 5 minutes ain't nothing.
Yeah.
So that's what made me like more motivated. I was like, oh, you good, because you funny. So you can break that 50 minutes and just take bits and portions and just keep practicing, work it out. All right, take this. All right, move this over here. It's being a professional comedian is like business.
Way different.
You gotta you gotta write it out. If you're trying to talk for an hour or doing 45 minutes or 30 minutes and you want this joke gotta go here. If you don't say this joke before this joke, it's not gonna set that joke up to the punchline. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's a whole game plan to it.
Yeah, so
like you planning for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, bro, you gotta be strategic, and that you'll be able to tell when you hear comedians because they got callbacks and punchlines.
Okay. See, we
different
learning
things
something
like
new.
that.
That's why we here, man. We learning something new.
Yeah, it's real.
And then your experience at the Improv, with it being closed now, especially. How many times have you done it? How has your experience been? And what can you say you're going to do next since it's closed to get, your practice in?
Well, we've been doing shows regardless, so
That's for real now.
We've been doing it, and shout out to the team, man, that I've been doing shows with, John Sorrell, Delta the Great, Mouth of the South, Lauren, Doley, all them shows that we did.
That's love.
We've been doing shows at Cargo, every month, just doing that, and all these open mics, doing shows at Grandview and different things like that. So we've been kind of just been doing our own shows, lately, and just keeping that practice going. But I did the Improv, and I had a plan going into the Improv. I always have a plan. So I said, I'm going to do the Improv 10 times, and I did it 10 times. I said, in order to perform at the Improv, you got to have 10 people. You got to bring 10 people with you.
Okay.
And it ain't just Palm Beach. I think Miami do that, or
yeah, probably everywhere.
The Improvs, because that's the brand. Maybe Orlando do it.
Yeah.
But you got to bring 10 people. And if you don't bring 10 people, so one time the first time I went, they was like, oh, you can't, you got to sign up to do it. Because at first I just saw the flyer. I was like, open mic, all right, cool, bet. But they was like, oh, you got to sign up, so next time you can do it. Okay. So I said, all right, bet. I'm bringing 10 people. I did it, and the first time I did it, that's on YouTube. The first time I did the Improv.
On your page?
On my page, yeah. Because I put an acting scene with it.
Okay.
And I was talking to myself, like I cloned myself and was talking to myself like, man, you ain't finna go out there, man, doing about, man, what you gonna do, man? I'm finna kill him, man. I talk, like I always gotta put some type of acting scene in front of whatever, the music, the this, the that, because I gotta show the film side, and that's just in the acting of me. Like
you said, the creator.
Yeah, I gotta just create that. So that's on YouTube. I went out there, but the idea was to do the Improv 10 times. I said, if I do the Improv 10 times, and I gotta bring 10 people, I done gave y'all over $10,000. I done made y'all a lot of money. So I said, all right, well, if this don't pop off and I don't open up for another comedian that y'all be bringing, or I don't get put on nowhere else, I'm not coming no more. I'm just going here to get this content. That's the only reason why I'm coming.
You did the right thing for
You
yourself.
got Improv on the back. Y'all film the shows. I'm going to give you $20. You going to give me the footage.
And that's all you need.
I got content. I need that.
Content
worth
millions.
Starting off.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Content worth millions.
And then I just film my own shows by myself with my camera and all that.
And I think we went to a show, right, Nigel? Nigel took us to a show, and I remember that. That was my first.
Oh, at the Improv?
Yeah, that was my. I think that was my first
went
time
to the Improv.
ever at the Improv, bro. I think I'd never been to the Improv before.
Yeah, I did. I forgot you did
Nigel
come.
Took me, yeah.
Yep.
And that was a great show. It was amazing atmosphere, and you did your thing, bro. So commend you again.
Appreciate it. That is love.
Like you said, content creator. You also creator overall.
Yep.
You do shows. You host shows. How many shows have you hosted? I know you did the Juneteenth event. Double A event.
So so what got me in the comedy first was, so I was hosting, right? First started in radio, and then shout out to 90.5 at FAMU.
Okay. Shout out fam, for sure.
We'll get into that. But I got into comedy because I wanted to be a better host. So I started doing comedy because I was like, dang, all the greats who host like big shows are comedians.
Facts.
So I was like, dang, and it's hard to do comedy. So again, for some reason, I be challenging myself, and I always take myself through the worst of the worst, and I don't even have to do all that.
Just for the fun of it.
Not even for the fun, it just be messed up. Like, bro, you ain't got to go that far, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm gonna go the hardest route, because if I go the hardest route, then anything else is gonna be easy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I went and did comedy because it was hard, and then now, because every show I hosted is always some time where you gotta stall. And I'm like, dang, well, it's either I bring and interact with the crowd, or bring somebody on stage, or rap, or bring an artist up, or I can just tell jokes. Now I can tell jokes.
Facts.
And now it's more personal as a host with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got into comedy, to be a better host.
Okay.
I forgot even the question. I don't even know who it was.
What was the first event that you hosted?
My first event that I hosted was, shout out to Charged Up in the team, man. Tay Tough and AB Granger at the time. Who else was with us? Shout out to my brother Davo. Shout out to Iceberg, Billion Bird. So that was the first show we did. We did a concert. It was a toy drive concert we did. Okay. And we booked Iceberg. And that was my first time hosting. And nobody came. I don't even think Berg ain't even performed. It was in Wellington. It was raining that night.
There's a lot going on.
Bruh, and we did the show. You feel me? But
show must go on.
We had VIP in the back with food, all kind of junk. But that process of just getting Berg and making that connection, going down to the Live House store and just talking to him and making that connection, and then he ended up coming. You feel me? And it was something that happened in the back where some water fell on his DJ laptop or some junk. He got hot, and Berg was like, I don't want to perform anymore.
Right, that was over with at that point, yeah.
But that was my first show, bro, like, that I hosted. But it was with Iceberg. He came out, but, I mean, it just didn't go as we planned. But
you did multiple shows after that, so what? So it went.
But that to be the first show, too. It was like, man, hey, we had Berg, bro.
Hey, that's a major move. And what was one of the best, I guess you could say, events that you hosted where you enjoyed it? It was something that you can always remember.
Well, I always remember, go back to my first time doing comedy with Alexis with Lockhart District, hosting her show at Robovich, because Robovich is a big venue, you know, like big brand.
Yeah,
you talk about yachts, hundreds of $1 million yachts.
So you had to put on a show for sure.
And it was outside, and it was very elegant, and just for her to give me that opportunity was just a blessing. And I like that because the way she do her shows and her models, it's the stage, but she got a runway. And for me to be able to walk out into the runway and talk to the people, it's like, bro, now I love runway stages because it's interacting. I don't have to get down and talk. I could just walk down the runway, interact with the crowd, tell jokes, talk to them, point at them. What y'all got going on? Okay, I see you right there. Walk back, and then you got the whole where I can dance and do whatever I need to do, act the fool. So that was my favorite show that I hosted. And other show, the Juneteenth show that I did, I performed.
Okay.
At that one. That show was my first time that was my first time playing the saxophone, other than playing it in the band back then, you know, in middle school.
And you played it solo? Live?
So I did, I was supposed to do music and comedy, right? Me and my brother Show Thief, shout out Show Thief.
Yeah, shout out Show Thief for sure.
He performed there too. And that was a really live event outside, you know what I'm saying? So I came in to do comedy and music. So the way my shows are, and I might as well explain it. The reason for the Malc Show, like the Malc Show brand, the name, my name is Malc, obviously, right? But everything I do come with something. Like it comes with some extravagant thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just something.
Something to make you stand out.
Yeah, it's always a light on everything that I do. So everywhere I go, it's gonna be a show. Anything I do, whether I'm speaking, whatever I'm doing, playing drums, it's a show. It's gonna be something that you're gonna enjoy. So that's where the brand comes from. That's where the name comes from.
I like that.
And it began like going back to fam, putting it on the radio, and a lot of people was like, oh, well, it's kind of confusing because you got the Malc Show and you're the Malc Show, and it's like, well, but that's the brand. I'm gonna always push the brand and just follow the brand. Because if you go watch the Malc Show, no matter what, it'll always connect back to me.
And you're gonna remember that, yeah.
And you're gonna remember it. I don't have to give you I can just give you one thing, and it'll go to everything, right? So when you look up, I'm the brand. I got the Malc Show. I'm the Malc Show. So I created the brand before I did comedy. That's another thing too. I didn't want to go in as Malcolm Summons. You know, a lot of comedians,
they use their name.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to create a brand, build the brand, and then go out with the brand and be as
then you
the
sell
brand.
all the merch. You could be able to sell anything. Yeah, definitely. I like that.
I can wear the brand. I got my carpet, but I ain't bring it. Was in the car.
Next time.
It's outside.
Don't worry. We might take a picture with it. We might take a picture with it.
It's outside.
Might take a picture with it, bro. And then on top of all the amazing creative things that you do, you also pour back into your community.
Yeah.
All the time, 24/7. Ever since I done been following you, bro, I always see you doing that.
Definitely.
And you do that with your mom's nonprofit.
Yeah, it's our nonprofit, Perry Ann, the Person's Hands Incorporated. She's the CEO, I'm the COO. And we started this. She started this nonprofit back in 2014. And at the time, I was in school and doing different things. Not until I graduated, then I was able to come back home and like help her with the nonprofit and establish something, because we just had it, but we wasn't doing nothing with it.
Yeah, working it all the time. Yeah, I feel you.
Not until, and she tells the story all the time, but Christmas, when she asked me what I wanted, and I said, I just want to feed the community. So since then, when we did the community, she was like, all right, well, we should do this more often. So now that created the food ministry with the nonprofit. So now we feed more so than everything. Now it's a whole ministry. We feed every week. Okay. Every Wednesday we feed. And we also partner with another church that feeds every Thursday. And Peaceful Zion feeds every Thursday. And we feed at Greater Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. Shout out to them, and shout out to Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church.
That's love. Shout out to them for real.
And Pastor, my auntie Belinda, that's there. Shout out to them, and because we do that, we feed there every second Saturday. Hand serving others. Okay. That's our motto. Is hand serving others, and just having a helping hand. You know, and we want to expand and do more things, because we do more with our kids, you know, with our students and our kings and queens. We just don't have a building right now. Okay. So a lot of things are just stored at home or stored somewhere in the church, in the room, or when it comes to like the drinks, because we'll have some drinks that will get donated. Food we don't keep a long time. Like when we get the food, we just give it out.
Make sure you give it out.
Because we want to make sure we got to make sure that the temperature in the refrigerator, we got like commercial refrigerators and freezers, you know what I'm saying? It got to be at a certain temperature. Yeah. It has to follow a certain type of code. It has to make sure, you have to make sure the food is fresh. And because we're not giving nobody no bad food. We're not giving nobody no
home cooked meals.
We're not giving. We used to do home cooked, but now since COVID, we don't do home cooked no more. We just give out a lot of fresh produce,
which is perfect.
Meats, eggs, flowers. We give out flowers every week. So some people be getting roses and orchids.
Yeah, things that they probably wouldn't even get from nobody else.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I we different. You know what I'm saying? And the food that we get is really fresh. There's a guideline. A lot of people don't know this. So on the packaging, right, you got your expiration date on your drinks or your food or something. That date is it basically just represents the day that they can't sell it in the stores.
Store no more, yeah.
It don't mean like we can't eat it. So we give people a chart of certain foods and how long is really bad, right?
That's good.
Because when you get donated food, that means it's close towards the expiration date for the store.
Stores, yeah.
So they give it out, they donate it. So we give people paperwork and be like, all right, so if it's this date from this day, if you're dealing with noodles or you're dealing with rice or you're dealing with this or you're dealing with that, then you have 4 months or 6 months after the date, or you have a year after the date, or
to eat it, get it done.
So you be able to eat it. Because a lot of people don't know that. They look at the expiration and be like, oh, this expired. No, that's just the date for the stove.
Yeah.
That's why they get it out there. So we educate people, and we make sure that all our food is good. So we get it donated. We take out all the bad food, or the food that may be fruits that may be rotten or something, or smashed. So sometimes it gets smashed or something.
Bad, yeah.
Because we loading it in the van. You know, I pick it up on Wednesday mornings and load it in the van, and we go other places to pick up and do that. So we give out fresh produce, flowers, meats, cheeses, eggs, milks, whatever we get donated.
Y'all give out.
It's all fresh and good food, so yeah.
Perfect.
And we also do financial literacy classes there for adults in our Kings and Queens. That's what we call them. Periana Precious Kings and Queens. First and third Saturdays at a time, depending on how long. So we'll do a contract, and Money Mo will come out, and she does financial literacy for the adults and the children, and we learn phenomenal stuff.
I love that.
Trusts, wheels, budgets, all kind of stuff.
Things our community need, for sure.
Things our community need, and for the kids, and we also cook on Zoom. So we'll get the food and provide it to the families, and have like a chef or somebody coming in and cook on Zoom, because we want to create that eating with your family again at the table. You know, because everybody just get a plate, go to their room.
Go to their room, and close the door, everybody in their own zone. Yeah.
Nobody don't eat together. So that's something that we do, and which is really fun though, because you look on Zoom and everybody following directions, and all right, that's make sure you put this much in here and this much. I remember one time we made some Rasta pasta. Somebody came on and made some, man. I wanted Rasta pasta every day after that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came in and made some like healthy food, or I think I went on there and cooked. I did I did 2 types of stuffed French toast. Something simple. I was like, all right, we're just gonna make some stuffed French toast. So I took the French toast, stuffed it with some, like I made a cream filling with some strawberries and different fruit and stuff like that, and then made it like that. And then they have enough they feed with their family, because we provided. We drop the food off. We drive it to their house, drop it off, because everybody local, whether you're in West Palm or, we probably had maybe one family, maybe as further as somebody may be, maybe like Lake Worth or something. But that's not, you know what I'm saying? We can still go out there. But we do that. And then in June, so every year we do a yearly retreat with our kids, or with our scholars or our kings and queens. And one year we took them to Orlando, got a resort, had a great time, had fun. This year, in July, we're taking them on Royal Caribbean.
That's lit.
To the Bahamas.
That's lit for sure.
A lot of them, and then when you're working with kids, like, you realize some of them ain't even been in a hotel room before.
They never get to experience.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let alone a boat or a plane.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring them to Africa one day. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
amazing, bro.
On a plane.
Amazing.
You feel me?
That's amazing.
So
for sure.
God has been blessing, man. God is all behind a nonprofit, but it's a blessing to be able to take them on a cruise. It's a 3-day cruise. We're gonna warm them up first. Because if it's me, I'm going 7 to 10 days.
You on your own with that. The best I can do is 3. You just see when my mom just came back from 2 weeks on the Dubai side.
Man.
She went crazy.
She went on the cruise?
Yeah, she went on the cruise from Dubai. She
Lovely.
took a cruise from Dubai for 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
2 weeks on the water, too much for me.
Man, she back home.
Yeah, she back. She made it.
Yeah.
She made it, though.
Great time.
And then, bro, also, bro, like, we spoke a lot about health. You feel me? The importance of health, and with the nonprofit, you guys are giving out fresh produce, everything that's organic, things like that. Speak about that and why that's important to you, your mom, and why it should be important to everybody else.
It's definitely important. And since I made a decision, you know, I see it around my family and different things. But we got to understand, I started to understand my body, my spirit, my soul. I started to understand what I'm putting in my body. Understanding what God has for us, right? And this is His temple. Like, this is our temple, but it's not our body. We got to take care of it.
Facts.
And anything that's going on with your life, right? Whether it's a bump on my face, I'm like, bro, it's the food we eat. You know what I'm saying? And I completely changed my life by completely changing what I ate. And I went to Dr. Sebi village in Honduras. It's a minimum 7 days you got to stay out there.
You got to sign something for that?
You sign your paperwork. It costs about $2 bands to $2,500 to go out there, but that don't cover the flight and stuff like that. But you go out there, that covers you stay in the cabin, you eat. So you'll eat in the morning you only eat fruit. They give you fruit, they give you bitters, teas, and then your supplements depending on your regimen. So you'll do some blood work, and then they'll see your blood work. See what's going on, and then they'll give you your capsules, your herbs, because it's all natural herbs that's in capsules. They give you that and then give you a regimen. Take this before breakfast. Take this after this. Take these. And you taking bitters and teas 3 times a day. So you eat fruit in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. 12 noon is like clockwork, same time. 12 noon, you'll get lunch. And if it's a little later, it's a little later, or sometime earlier or whatever. I mean, somebody probably, they shift probably, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
So lunch, you'll get, because you only get fed once. Fruit is just fruit with your bitters and all that. And then you get one meal. It's going to have some salad. It's going to have something with mushroom. The last day we had fried mushroom. And I ain't really like mushroom for real. So whatever meal, I think one day we had quinoa with something. You think it's sweet potatoes, but they're not sweet potatoes. It's real alkaline diet, you know what I'm saying? And then for dinner, all you drinking is sea moss tea. That's it. So
for 7 days.
7 days. In the village, you go in the sauna. The sauna had eucalyptus and soursop leaves in there. And the water, the thermal water comes from the mountain.
Yeah, I might have to invest in that.
So it comes in the stream and it flows, and that's what feeds like the village. You bathe in it, you swim in it. They got a thermal pool, they got thermal tubs. But the main thing that really changed or helped was that sauna. I'm in there an hour a day sweating all that out. So when I got home, they was like, dang, you lost a lot of weight. Yeah. Dang, you look good. I was like, shoot, you're outside majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? You outside all day. You working out. I worked out, and it's different. And all you hear is the jungle, because the jungle is right there.
Damn.
All you hear is, all you hear is the jungle. I'm like, what is that, bro? Is that a jaguar, a lion? What is that, bro?
That's interesting.
Like you just hear these animals and junk. But we went into it, and so you got to walk through the jungle a little bit, and it's a little excursion. You walk through the jungle a little bit to get to, and the natives go to this place. It's like in the middle of the jungle, they got like where you swim at, where you can, it's a waterfall, where you can like vibe at and stuff like that. But you got to go through the jungle, like to climb through that jungle and like not fall and go through the rocks.
I got it. Yeah, that's definitely something we got to experience.
Yeah, man. But they set everything up for you, and then they book your taxi and all that stuff. So you ain't trying to book by yourself because it's dangerous out there. So they make sure you safe, make sure everything like that. But I know that was part of my change. And then after that, really what changed is like I went to the doctor, got blood work. I ain't like what I see, and I just stopped eating meat. I was just like, shoot, after that, I'm not.
No, you ain't going that route.
Get it. When she told me, it was like, you can have a heart attack anytime. I was like, oh, heck no.
Yeah, that's it for me. Pack it up.
I had sleep apnea, all kind of junk, bro.
Different
just
things,
not taking care of my life, bro. But at the time, I was like not living like I should be living. I probably was depressed. I think I was. And it was just not, but I was doing shows, I'm touring, I'm living life, you know what I'm saying?
Living your best life,
but sometimes it's like, you doing all this, bro, like, you doing shows, and God gonna show you. It's like, he showed me everything, showed me this type of lifestyle. And I love that lifestyle, but it was like, your soul just not it, you feel me? And that's how you see a lot of artists just like, I don't want this no more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't want to do it.
The lifestyle is fun, bro. It's fun. It's just you all of. Yeah. But after a while, it's like, bro, this is
tiring.
This ain't feeding my soul for real, bro.
Get tired.
So that's what made the change, bro. And just you know what I'm saying? Understanding my body, drinking water, but majority of the water like is tap water anyway.
Yeah, facts.
You feel me?
Yeah,
so we
facts.
can't.
They just fooling us on that one.
This came from the mountain, bro. They just got a name on it. You know what I'm saying?
Straight out the sewer.
Yeah, so we just gotta know what we eating, put the right stuff in our body. I don't eat a bunch of, I eat avocado toast. You know what I'm saying? Egg whites instead of the egg yolk. Different things like that. And teas, herbal teas I make myself.
That's love.
Like from herbs. I go down south to Jamaican herbal. Get some herbs.
Come back and make your own.
Make my own tea.
Make your own potion. Your own medicine.
I make a gallon in a glass jar. I got a gallon, so I mix it, and you don't steam it. You don't boil it for a long time. So I put all my herbs in there, and then it get hot. It maybe boil for 1 or 2 minutes. Turn it off, and just let it sit and let them herbs do what it do. Let it cool off because you can't drink it hot. You're supposed to drink it room temperature. Real herbs. You know
y'all learning. Y'all learning.
You're supposed to drink it room temperature.
Y'all learning.
Yeah. So you drink at room temperature, and it don't taste good. But after you get used to it, it's like, oh, that's
just what it is.
It's supposed to taste like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And you've seen a difference within your body. What's the difference have you seen in yourself since then, since you started this journey?
I don't dang near die when I'm sleeping. Sleep apnea is different, right? I don't even hear about that no more. But I used to wake up in shock all the time, right? And just have breathing and man, my weight, right? I gained a lot of weight and right? It was just wasn't it. Like not breathing right, feeling sluggish, you know, feeling down, bro, depressed, you feel me? To where you just, whether you smoking more or drinking more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not it, bro. I had to snap out of that joint.
I love that for you, dog. And now you slimmed up, you good now, you good now.
Get that, man. Ain't doing that shit.
And on top of that journey, bro, you also, with the community, been working with Bobby Powell.
Yeah. And
also a lot of other people in the community that do things with politics, that do things with changing our laws. Yeah. You have been a part of a lot of things I've been seeing. How has that been for you? How have you been enjoying it, especially being a black man with dreads?
With locks, bro.
Locked up.
Yeah, for sure. And usually I have my hair out. We just did it. I just filmed for part 2 for child support, so I had to get in character. I had to get my hair done. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday. But working, first, let me say this. I'll say this about Bobby Powell Jr. He's not just somebody I work for, you know. Bobby has been the greatest mentor ever in my life, you know what I'm saying? And he has given me a lot of great opportunities. And he graduated from FAMU, and we still gotta go through that because that's the journey too. But he graduated from FAM, but he also ran track with my older brother. He went to Gardens High School.
Okay.
So he watched me grow up, you know what I'm saying? So he saw me as a kid and growing up and stuff like that. So growing up, he saw me in the community actually wanting to be somebody. But he actually came back around my senior year.
Okay.
He walked on the track. I was like, oh, shoot. He started at Suncoast. He came in and helped the poll voters. And at the time, he probably was either working for the city of West Palm Beach. Like, he wasn't no elected official. Or that was way before he was even an intern, or not an intern, but a legislative aide for now Senator Mac Bernard. But, and I let him tell his own story, but and we continuing to do that because we do the Power Press every week, you know, and I produce that. I'm the director of media. Well, first, I'm the deputy chief of staff and director of media for Commissioner Bobby Powell. Then it was State Senator Bobby Powell when we was working as a legislative aide, and we was going back and forth to Tallahassee at the time. And I'll talk more on that. But Bobby has, like I said, been a great mentor. So working for him in his office, and honestly, I wasn't even going to be working for him. I was getting ready to move to Atlanta. And he came to me and said, hey, how would you like, work in my office? And at first I was like, I don't know, bro, legislative aid, I don't know if I...
Yeah. Did you know what it was?
Not entirely. I know I had to be his assistant, or something like that, work in the office. But I only worked on campaigns. Like, I ran people's campaigns, helped them canvass and different things like that. But I was like, bro, I gotta really answer phones and help people. And I'm like, I don't know, man. He was like, all right, just give me 2 years. And then so you can see what the process is like. And because he's also my mentor. Yeah. So it's like, I want you to use your journalism skills, and this will help you with your journey. Come learn the process, build yourself while you in here, while you working for the Senate, and learn everything, learn the people, learn the environment. And so I did, and I ain't moved, and I started working for him, and honestly, it was a great decision, obviously. It was a great decision,
Because now he don't want.
Yeah. But he never lost an election. I just want people to understand that.
There you go.
But but like I said, he's my mentor. So it's all about, so working for him is more so like, working for him first, I can help a lot of people. You know, that's what I love about it. And I can learn from him. I'm dang near turning into him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because people be like, man, you sound like him. I'm like, well, shoot, if you around somebody every day, shoot.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he encouraged me, all right, you need to read this book. You need to buy a house soon. Or you got to, you need to work on this. You need to take a finance class. I want you to join Leadership Palm Beach County. Shout out to Leadership Palm Beach County. I'm in this class right now. You're the Epic Class 2025. We're about to graduate this month.
That's Lord, no?
Leadership Palm Beach County is a phenomenal organization.
I've never heard about that, bro.
Man, Leadership Palm Beach, they don't accept everybody.
That's the good way to go. That's the good way to go.
They don't accept everybody, so it's a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to be a part of an organization like that. Shout out to all my classmates. Shout out to y'all. But joining things like that and learning like what it is, you know, learning the players, learning who got money, learning who,
most important part, yeah.
Learning who has, how they move over here, learning this group of people, how to connect, how to speak, how to network. When you walk in the room, make sure people know that you're in the room, you know, make your presence known and stuff like that. And obviously I get to use my journalism skills with typing his script for his shows and writing press releases and being able to take all his photos and do his videos and do all the media and connect with other people, you know. And so working for him is just it's a great experience because he's not just my boss, he's my mentor.
And that's a great feeling to have, bro.
Yeah.
Cause he pouring into you and you pouring into him, so y'all both getting the
lift as you climb.
Yeah.
I'm glad I remember that. That's what his thing is. Lift as you climb.
Lift as you climb.
Take the people, and he's helped so many people, man. From Representative Javante Edmonds.
Shout out to Edmonds for real.
You know, former Commissioner Charger McCoy. Who else? Nasby. So many people that went through his office. Everybody who went through his office are somebody great. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, Mal, when you run it, I'm like, bro, I need y'all to see these comedy shows.
First, then you get
I need y'all to come to these comedy shows.
Have you ever thought about it though?
I think about it because I'm around it a lot, and I am qualified to. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people, I said, if I had to, like if we in a situation where it's like, bro, we need somebody, bro, like we don't know, we got these Republicans running, or somebody, if it's a Riviera Beach thing,
yeah, and
it's like, bro, no, we ain't got desperate measures, and I'm like, all right, cool, but I ain't thinking about no time.
Ain't checking them for it.
Nah, I like behind the scenes. I can make an impact like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro, because behind the scenes, you see everything.
And you got to submit everything, bro. They got to see your financial report. I don't got time for that.
You ain't got time, I don't blame you.
I ain't trying to put all my business out.
Like you said, bro, you got your hair done for the child support movie, bro. This is the second one. Let the people know where they can find the first one at.
First one just hit Amazon, man, last week. It's on Amazon Prime now. Child Support 1. We working on Child Support. Well, it's just Child Support. It ain't Child Support 1, but it's Child Support here on Amazon. We working on part 2 right now. Unfinished Business. Child Support 2, Unfinished Business. Shout out to the director, Ebony Elliott, and the crew, the assistant directors, and PJ them, who's filming, and the whole crew. All of them, man. Everybody a part of the film. Like I said, my mom's is in the film.
Yeah, he said a lot. Yeah, and it's a Palm Beach based.
It's a Palm Beach based film, dog, and it's super funny. It's a comedy. So I saw the casting call. Eddie Green posted the flyer.
Okay.
And I was like, man, ain't no way they having a casting call in Palm Beach, and I'm not gonna be in this movie. And it's a comedy.
That's your
like,
lane.
Bruh, come on. A comedy in my city?
Yeah.
I gotta be in this movie.
That's your lane.
So I went, did the cast. I killed that casting call, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, they wanted me, it was a monologue.
Okay.
Or you can bring one, but they had like a script that you can read off of. And I ain't had nothing prepared. And I said, all right, cool. So that's why I got into comedy. I always have comedy now. Because I said, if I need to do something, I'm going to just do a 5-minute set. or do a 2-minute set or whatever. I'm just tell jokes.
Play it out.
But I created something, so I acted like I was the radio guy. So basically, I just played like the Malc Show, read the script as if I was doing like I was an anchor for a show or something, but put comedy to it. And I changed the script, changed a few words, and just added stuff that was funny. They loved it, and then they wanted me to act like a hood deacon, who I play in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So they probably was like, hold up, act like this.
Let's see if you can do it.
Let me see if you can do it, because they probably was casting for that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I played, Deacon Malcolm in the movie.
Okay.
And in the first one, I'm the one with the gun. Eddie Green, or Deacon, Pastor Green in the movie give me the gun. And because we looking for ties, we going around to see who paying their ties money, and I'm trying to.
So what does the movie like? If you had to sum it up in 2 sentences to explain the overall of the movie, what is it?
Child support.
Collecting.
Child support. It's collecting, bro. Somebody trying to find some money, or is money involved, and bro gotta go get the money over here, and he owes some people over here, you know. Somebody in the hood that owed child support.
Time to collect.
You know what I'm saying? He might got an issue with got into it with somebody else. He might owe it over here, and you know, it's a funny movie, bro. It's a comedy, man. Shout out to George, he's the lead. Yep.
That's perfect. And then the second one is gonna be around the same type of vibe.
Yeah, we filming it. Yesterday we just filmed the barbecue scene. I play Deacon Malcolm. I'm on the grill cooking.
Okay.
And yeah, so we about done with part 2 for real, as far as filming. And that one we gonna be pushing and then having a premiere. We had a premiere at Norton's Museum for the first one.
Okay.
I think the second one may be at Kravis Center or something. It's gonna be at a bigger venue, with more seats, because the first one was sold out. So this one, yeah.
I'm gonna watch that movie tonight. I'm gonna
Child
watch that
support.
movie
Watch
tonight.
it.
I gotta do my homework, man. I gotta do my homework. Definitely gonna watch the movie tonight.
Yeah.
I know you did tell me, and then Nigel was telling me you wanted to play sports. You feel me? You had aspirations of, you know, doing your things in sports. How was that journey, and how did it switch to what you're doing now?
Yeah.
And your journey in college, everything like that.
So it was important. So I went to Suncoast playing football and different things like that. First, I couldn't go to no school because I ain't passed no tests. I ain't passed no FCAT, SCT, ACT. I ain't passed none of that junk. But I had a 504 plan. And I talked about it in the comedy show recently. I had a 504 plan that helped me graduate. I was in ESE. I had my classmates had helmets sometimes. Some of my classmates had some stuff like, but hey, we was in the class. We had it done. We got it done. But I graduated and I went to FAMU. But before that, I was just trying to make it. First, I went to Edward Waters.
Okay.
I was there for a month, just for football camp. Realized once classes was gonna start, they was like, "Oh, you ain't got no scholarship." So I was like, "Well, shoot, I guess I'm." And it's a private school. I was like, "I'm not paying that. I'm not taking out no loans to go to Edward Waters in Jacksonville." I don't did this tour Duval. We did a tour. It was bullets in people's houses and shit. Man, I was like, man, nah, dog. I ain't gotta stay here. So I left, went back to Palm Beach State, and then I ended up, because at the time we had like a recruiter or something helping us trying to find a school and stuff like that. But he found this institute. It's called Virginia Beach Institute. Man, it wasn't no real school. It ended up, at the end, we found out it was a scam. But it was a program, you know, they had athletes. Some people was from Virginia. It was in Virginia. So we flew to Virginia. We paid like a couple $1,000s and stuff like that. So they told us, all right, we were going to have tutors. We was going to have our games and have our food. It was a meal plan. We got out there. We stayed in hotels. And we knew we was going to stay in the hotels. But we went in there. The first thing I did, shout out to my dog, Fullwood. Shout out to Jeff Fullwood and Demetrius. So we went out there, and Demetrius was at Lakes. He went to Lakes, and we was at Suncoast. So I was like, oh, somebody from Palm Beach. So that's how we got clicked tight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we went out there. First thing I did was jump on Jeff's bed. It was nothing but dust hit my face. dust, bro. I was like, bro, what the freak? Like, dang. So we knew then. We turned on the water. It was brown, and it was only hot.
Oh yeah.
It was like steaming hot. Oh, so they cleaned it from the brown. Then after that, we had to brush our teeth like, cause it was steaming hot. So we stayed there, bro. We ain't had no food. We ain't had no, bro. We stayed in horrible conditions for like a month, and then we went to another hotel where we had. It was more like a Homewood Suites with a
living room attached type vibe.
It had 2 stoves, you know, a full-size refrigerator. I said, all right, we good, because I know how to cook and survive. All we needed was a refrigerator or something.
Something that y'all can work with.
And then that's when the food stamps hit. I ain't have a lot, but I had something. And then we had a little money. That's when Palm Beach State dropped the check. So I was like, all right, cool. We got a little something. So we started feeding, you know, and I know how to survive. So I bought stuff like eggs, pancake mix, rice, hamburgers.
That can get you a long way.
Stuff that gets you that stretch, you know what I'm saying? So we was eating every day, but just that. Then I went home, fast forward, and then finished out Palm Beach State, got my AA. And then I talked to my sister because I was trying to figure out what the major was in the field I wanted, like, as far as entertainment and stuff like that. And then she was like, then I found broadcast journalism.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I see they got a radio station and all that stuff like that. Cool, I want to do that. So I went to FAM, and then that was my focus, get on radio. I went to the interest meeting the first time, and then, I missed the first interest meeting because I overslept. And then I missed that whole semester. But I could have went back and just talked to him and be like, hey, I want to be in the interest. So I went to the second interest meeting, got on the radio. We had to submit like a mic check, you know, like a demo tape or something like that. And then they liked it, and they put me on prime time, 4 to 7, Tuesdays. Like that time, and they said, we usually get us to experienced people, but hearing your voice and we feel as though like
you got it.
You got it. So I started doing that. Turned out, became one of the hottest shows in Tallahassee. I started bringing artists. I started, you know, so that's what built the Malc Show. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I went and started doing a show, producing a show called Fam You Now. That's when the professional side started coming in. That's when I got the chance to interview Dr. Takia Kima, the mother from That's So Raven.
Damn, that's lit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So the mother on That's So Raven, I got a chance to interview her, and I was dressed. It was in the beginning. So, and I got a picture in this, I filmed it, but I had on like shorts and, you know what I'm saying? I had these long mics. You feel me? Like shotgun mics.
Yeah, start off.
I was starting off, but it was big people, but I was starting off. And then attorney Ben Crump, interviewing him and writing a story and taking the pictures, because I was writing stories too, because that was a part of our capstone. So I was writing news stories, and a part of those news stories, I was a photographer, so I took my own pictures. So I got the photo cred and the story cred.
Man, many hats. Right there. There you go.
And then the interviews that I took from the audio, I put it on the radio.
Yeah.
Because I was working at the time, the newspaper, the radio, 3 radio stations, because I was helping produce another show in Georgia.
Which is right there, yeah. So,
yeah. So I was just like editing for them, and then I send it back.
Okay, that's lit.
Like they intros and I was doing some sound tech type stuff, but I did that for them. Fam You Now with Sirius XM. Shout out to Tory Ford, and Terrence Ward and Keith Miles, all my mentors, and yeah. So I did those shows. So that's what helped me. So I took that same vibe, brought it back home,
turned it up.
Knowing, okay, I gotta get a show, I gotta get a story out every week. I gotta get this, I gotta get that. So I took that same vibe, and then I took it and brought it into the Malc Show. That's what led me to covering events and doing this and doing that. And shout out to J Bell, the artist, who's the Harlem Globetrotters host now. He hosts with the Harlem Globetrotters. He, so like I said, in 2019 is my year of faith. So I went to LA, I took a 10-day fast. I fasted for 10 days, wasn't eating just fruits, vegetables. I threw some fish in there. but I was like Dana Daniel fast type vibes. And then I said, Lord, I'm gonna go to LA and I'm gonna let you just do your thing. And then I went with my cousin, stayed with her, and then I was in LA. I was like, well, shoot, whatever happened that first morning of the BET Awards, because you know they pre-recorded.
Yeah, facts.
And then they aired. So before that, J Bell called me that morning, because you know in LA you got to get up extra early, because it's 3 hours behind.
Yeah, damn. I need to go to LA. I ain't been to LA
either.
Yeah,
LA is 3 hours behind. So I'm up at 6, but it's 9 o'clock in West Palm. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get up at like 4, 5.
Get everything
before if you trying to make the stock market, you know what I'm saying, at 9 o'clock. But J Bell called me and said, hey man, they need a cameraman. Because he was hosting for the Sirius XM. He was doing all the interviews. And all the interviews was all top 50 radio stations in the nation and all that. That's who go in the radio room, but they call it the hub.
Okay.
I think that year they changed the name to the hub.
Okay. So
that's the behind the scenes. So any BET Awards, or they got the hub where they do all the artists go in and that's where they podcast. So they probably got new podcasts and then
Facts. Probably got a lot of that.
They probably got more podcasts than radio stations now.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah,
especially now.
So he called me. I went to because they stay at the Marriott. They was at the Marriott across the street from the Staples Center. He was like, meet me here. This is where all the stars at. I said, all right, bet. I got up, went there, and I'm already ready because I was already prepared anyway. All my stuff packed, took an Uber. I spent $230 on Uber being in LA.
That sound like my New York price.
Man, probably more than that. But I got to the Marriott. First person I saw was Robert Kraft. Second person I saw was Radio Big Mac from 99 Jams. Then I saw Zaytoven, the Gucci producer. Big Boy was there. Everybody walking through the lobby, it's morning time, because they going either to the buffet or they going to the BT, like the radio room. So everybody was going to the radio room or going to the So I was trying to follow like the stars. I'm like, shoot, y'all boy going to the buffet. I'm trying to go to the buffet too. Then I looked at that price for the buffet. I said, I don't know if I'm going to go to the buffet. I'm going to go with Zay at. Zay going to the coffee and the sandwiches and the pastry junk. So I went on there, and then we filmed, bro, and the radio room, man, that was just, bro, you see all these people. That's when Megan Thee Stallion just came out. Lil Nas X came out. Megan Thee Stallion came in there with them short shorts and her first slippers and her dog and junk. That's when she was dating Moneybag or something at the time.
Facts.
So they walked in. You see the CEO, BET in there, Tiny, T.I., all these people like you see in there. Then they was like, all right, let's get up to the front so we can catch it before we get in. So I'm like, what we gotta catch? And they was like, oh, Fantasia, before she come in, before everybody get to her. So we was the first. We got Fantasia at the door, and I had my camera ready. It was like, bro, be ready, because we record. You ready? We record, because we ain't trying to waste our time. But Fantasia is so soft-spoken, and that was the time where she just got out her label. And around that time, because she spoke about how she's free now, and she ain't got to worry about, she shop for herself, ain't nobody taking the money from, you know what I'm saying, and all this stuff like that. So being in that room and being at the BET Awards was great. And like I said, shout out to J Bell, man, for giving me that opportunity, and the Source Magazine. So now I go around and say, shoot, hey, I work for the Source Magazine too.
You did everything. Yeah, I did everything, bro.
So we did that, and then I kept it going. I started covering shows, and I took my dad to Essence Fest. And
I definitely want to attend that.
Man, I took him to Essence Fest, and we drove up there. That was the longest drive ever in my life. We drove to Essence Fest, but he was able to, and at the time, that's when I Got the Hook Up 2 came out. And with Master P and DC Fun,
okay.
Romeo and them, Debo, Tiny, is his real name. Because I was supposed to be on the red carpet as a journalist there too. So I was there for Essence Fest, but I was there for that premiere.
Okay.
So I went to the premiere and set up on the red carpet. And the biggest thing is my dad was able to meet Debo and Romeo, Master P.
Yeah, you was able to make that happen for him too.
Right before Tiny passed, you know what I'm saying? Because Debo passed away. So we was able to interview him, you know, and see him. So I interviewed all of them. And at DC Young Fly, that was early in his career. That was his first, no, I think First Sunday was his first movie. But he was in that movie. And then I was able to talk to them. And then I was able to connect again to go to the celebrity basketball game. That wasn't planned, but I was able to network and talk to them. Hey, let's get to the Fat Boy SSC was there, his people was there, and all that stuff like that. But I got to the celebrity basketball game, got my daddy in there. That was the whole experience. Like, it was like, dang, you get to see like
what I'm doing,
what I be doing, and you feel me?
That's love.
So that was a great experience. So
and the importance of networking, like you say, I see a lot of the spots where you was able to elevate was because somebody was helping, somebody was plugging you in, somebody was putting you in position.
Lift as you climb.
There you go.
For sure.
And let the people know where to follow you at, just in case. And also let them know where they can find any information with the nonprofit. Yeah,
man. Y'all can follow me at The Malc Show, everything The Malc Show. The nonprofit is pprecioushands.org. It's the website. Or Periana Precious Hands Incorporated. Cash App, P Precious Hands, $ P Precious Hands if you like to donate. Stay tuned for just more of The Malc Show. It's a lot of things, a lot of people, and where the music at? I didn't drop a lot of music because it's a different vibe now. Now I'm more talking about God, you know what I'm saying? I got songs already made, but it's like, I don't know, that's where I'm going.
You ain't in that headspace no more.
That's not where I'm going no more. And then the interviews, we about to start back with interviews, with documentaries and different things like that. We just been busy, bro.
Ain't you know wrong with that. Being busy is
I ain't been
right.
posting nothing. I've been doing a lot more comedy. I've been doing a lot more comedy, and then, you know, I don't post a lot of comedy. People steal jokes. I don't watch people literally say my joke right in front of me. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So people, I don't post that, but stay tuned for that, man. We got more shows, and just stay tuned and look at the social medias and stuff. We got a lot going on.
Hey, man, this is a man of many hats. I appreciate everything that you're doing for the community, for yourself, bro. Pray nothing but blessings over you. And like you say, you're a man of faith. And faith can get you a long way as long as you trust God, keep God first. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to say to the people before we sign out?
Yeah, I do want to touch on, I forgot, when I used to teach. I got to touch on, after I graduated FAM, I took my...
See, man of many hats.
I took what I learned at FAM, and... I taught journalism for a year. Okay. I went in to be a sub. Principal saw my resume, all the experience I had, and she was like, "How about you create a program, a whole new program here?" So I built my own curriculum, and
that's lit.
And I outlined it from FAMU curriculum. So I took a college curriculum and gave it to middle school and elementary school kids, and I ran a boys group there. So basically, all of my students will have, at the end of the course, will have a headshot. Well, they'll have a portfolio. So you have a headshot, table of contents. You will have some sort of story that you wrote or something like that. They built their own websites, and they all had to have a brand idea, like a business or something that they wanted to start. And if they wanted to, you already got your website that they built, and you can always change it because we didn't buy the domain, but you can always go back to it and different things like that. So, and then I also brought it to Police Athletic League in West Palm while Alexis was the CEO, and we're really great friends, and so we work a lot together. But I brought it to PAL. Shout out to Kevin Lawson. I partnered with Kevin, and we taught them and showed them production and everything, angles, lighting, just how to conduct interviews, and just we filmed a little cooking show and I was able to get my nonprofit to provide food and be able to give them that. So it's more than, we got the skills, but I got a curriculum too that I can bring and teach kids anytime I want, and that's something that my brother's doing. Shout out to Tugs Rug, shout out to Hans Glow, young entrepreneurs of the future. that they're doing in Nebraska, and Periana Precious Hands, BWC Travel Agency. Who else? Sean Nyros. Everybody in the fam, man. The whole family. Yeah. Everybody moving and grooving.
Moving in the right way, man.
Making things happen, man. But yeah, definitely. That was the biggest thing that I've done, was able to create a curriculum and impact these kids' lives.
I love that,
Because my students came back and was like, man, I appreciate what you were saying. I didn't understand then.
You understand now.
But now I understand now.
That's love, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for coming out, sharing your story. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video when it drops. Make sure y'all lock in with bro. Make sure y'all follow. We out. Shout out to Virgin, our sponsor, man. We out, man. CYON.
TR.